I am a ceramicist. I do pottery. Um, and I I'm the first generation graduating college in my family. Um,
Congratulations. That's a big deal.
Thank you. And I just graduated college a year ago. So
Oh,
now I'm
wow.
back in
Okay.
Kansas City. I graduated in Wayne, Nebraska. It's a very small town. It's like 2 hours away from Omaha. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome. Well,
out there.
congratulations.
Thank
That is
you.
amazing, first generation. So I do want to talk about that, your story and your history here. Like B was saying earlier, we've stalked your page a bunch. So we've looked into it, and I see a lot of your culture really ingrained in your pottery and all of your art, actually. Can you explain a little bit about you being first generation, what that means to you, and just your
Yeah.
family background?
Yeah, for sure. So I immigrated here in the United States when I was 4 years old, actually. Um, and then from there, um, my mom was a single mom, and you didn't know obviously, any English in an unknown country. And so it was hard for me as well as a bilingual, as a Latina being in America. And it's just like my family just influenced me a lot of how to work hard in a
Yeah.
country. And because my mom is a businesswoman as well.
Okay.
And so she raised us as to be a dad and a mother as well at the same time. And so she taught my brothers, just two of us, it's my brother and I. And she taught us how to run a business. And so
Right.
she always was telling us that family is the most important. And so I really like that she still kept going with the culture wise. And
Right.
so she would tell me stories about how it would be the struggle to immigrate to the United States by like passing the border, by like going through these really bad trials, by like being caught by the immigration from ICE, and
Oh,
just
wow.
experiencing racism as well. And so it's just, I like how she's a very powerful woman, that she's been through a lot. And so that influenced me as well,
Yeah.
to just do what I love. And I was just a little scared on how my family would react of me pursuing an art
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of the like,
Like, what are you
I
gonna do
don't
with art?
got enough money. And so I was just like, okay. But they really did support me in that
That's
kind
beautiful.
of way. And just, yeah, they told me stories. I just would see that they'd be like, "Ooh, make some like salsas bowls or
Oh, right.
salsa
Right.
spoons."
Yeah.
And they'd be so supportive in that way. And like, for example, I have this little piggy bank back here.
I
So it's a
see.
I
piggy bank.
love them.
Um,
Yeah.
in our culture, we instead of having this little thing underneath where you can just take out the money.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
these piggy banks, we actually break them. And so
Oh,
yeah.
Means more.
And so
Yeah.
you use the money as like how long you want to, and then you break them. So that's just like a little part of my culture wise. But also in college, I've learned a little bit of a lot of different mediums, where you can see
Yeah.
right here I have a painting,
mhm.
which is it's very personal. So if it talks a lot about me, and those faces are my family as well. So my family
Okay.
are a lot influenced in my artwork. And I feel like that's where I get a lot of my Latino culture
Of
from as
course.
well.
That's definitely something to be proud of and
It
to keep going with.
is.
And your mom, showing her strength and what she did for you guys you can see it in your art, honestly. You see all of the love, you see all of the passion that you have. So I love that. And I love that your mom was, your first cheerleader and, your hero, honestly. Like I hear that in your voice. Like that's how it was for me and my mom, it was
Yes.
hustle, it was struggle, and you know what I mean, against all odds, even if you're by yourself, you have to make a way. So you definitely have that with pursuing something that you love. Because, yeah, you know, I could see how your family's like, I did not cross this border, do all of this for you to just make, you know,
Yeah.
art. But you know what I mean? But you actually pursued it and are an artist. Like, you know, that is real and it really shows true. So I'm glad that you stuck with it. Seriously.
Yes, for sure.
I love that you stick with your heritage, and you can see that within everything that you create, but also as far as painting, like, do you make portraits? Do you do self-expressive painting? Because yeah, I stalked your IG early and I was like, oh, I wish she was painting too. Ooh.
Yes, that's a good question. I feel like in college, it just like I said, I did all kinds of mediums like
Right.
painting. I did a lot of drawing, and then I did a lot of like wood, metal, all these kind of different things. And then until I got into clay ceramics, and then I was just like, ooh, like ceramics, like clay, there is no rules at all. So I was like,
Right.
you can paint ceramics, you can do mixed media with ceramics, you can do printmaking with ceramics. And I just, from there, I just fell in love with it because I am, and hopefully in the future, I want to do a residency program in Oaxaca, Mexico. And I want to learn more about clay because clay comes on a lot of historic in Oaxaca, Mexico. And clay is very earthly, very natural, easy to find in the mother nature, in the ground.
Right.
And so in Oaxaca, Mexico, we make everything 100% handmade, and all the tools that they get from the ground.
Yeah.
And so I just want to I want to incorporate those kind of techniques in my ceramics. But I mean, I'm willing to do painting, sculpting, painting too.
Yeah.
I actually have I don't have it with me, but I do self-portraits, a lot of self-portraits because, you know, like I said, family is everything. And I have all that generation in my, you know, in my blood. And so me as the first generation, and, you know, being here as an immigrant, I feel like it's very, it's a very historic, a strong story that I have, that I can still incorporate that family blood in my art.
Right. No, I
I
hope
love
you get
that
to go.
though.
No, that, yeah, because that's amazing
Same.
if you do. And yeah, to like have the original, you know, materials and really like grassroots of creating every piece of that. Like there's nothing beating it. And that's what really has lasted through, you know, centuries, honestly, you know, actual clay, and, you know, that's what we find first. So I definitely would, you know, I'm interested. But how did you turn that into, like, I know
Same. I
when
was
you're in
about to say,
college,
I
yeah,
want to
I'm
know.
like, I want to go. But how do
I
you
want
turn
to do
that
it too.
into, yeah, an actual business? So going from college, realizing that you find the medium that, you know, speaks to you, what makes you like, I'm gonna earn money doing this now. Like it's not just something I love. I'm gonna, like, you know, make this a business. How did you turn that into that?
Yeah, for sure. So in college, we have, in our senior year, we have this group exhibition, whoever are like the seniors that graduate the last year. And so we have this exhibition that we present to everybody, all the skills that we've learned in the strongest medium that we like. And as a group, we come up with a theme. And so our theme was like family roots. And so I feel that with ceramics was like my number one strong medium that I really liked. And my family always like try to challenge me as well. They're like, make me a plate, make me this, and make me that. And I'm like, okay. So like they also helped me to challenge myself in making, you know, some useful, because with pottery you can also use it in the kitchen. And so, and it's I saw that my family really wanted a lot of things, and they would buy it. They would even support me by buying it.
That's amazing.
So I was just like, you can have it, but they're like, no, we would love to, you know, just, you know, pay it for you, you know. And they saw my talent in it. And then I started, when I do when I did that exhibition at school, I started seeing that people liked my story. Not only I made pottery, but also like printmaking, and they like to buy my artwork too. So they saw that I had a story in my
Yeah.
art. And so people just started buying exhibitions. Like I would apply for exhibitions. I got accepted to exhibition in Omaha for the, like it was a really good opportunity because it was like for Latinos. And so this was a great one for me. And people can buy my artwork there. People bought my artwork. And I started, when I moved back to Kansas City, I started applying for exhibitions because my professors told me that they see value in my artwork, and they see that if I keep going with it, my worth in my art is gonna go up in price. And so that just made me feel so good because I was like, oh my gosh, like people can see my story and my artwork. They love it. And I started, like, I would love my artwork to speak for me. And so I was like, that is so amazing that people can see my hard work, my family, like they can see my story. And so that just made me so happy that I was like, you know what, like I think that I definitely would like to incorporate this as a business. And so when I started applying for exhibitions, I applied when I moved to Kansas City. I applied for jobs, and there was a job that they were looking for artists, but this job is to make teeth. So we make teeth.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a job.
Yes,
So
make
they
teeth.
were looking, yeah. And so I really loved that. So I was like, ooh, like being an artist, like they know the value in artists. Like
that's
we're very
okay.
patient, like we're very creative, very detailed.
Right.
And so co-workers there, they were very young. They're very young. They're from the KCAI, Kansas City Art Institution School. And they would suggest me about, pop-up shows. And so I was like, what are pop-up shows? And so they told me, pop-up shows, that you can sell, there's events that they support small businesses, or like if you're starting up to become a business, they support in creativity. So I was like, ooh, okay. And so I think that pottery was my really creative part, and then I started applying for pop-up shows, and from there I just started doing pop-up
You're
shows
like, this
and
is
sold them.
real.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that
Started
is
doing pop-up
amazing.
shows. Yeah. And people, like my first event, I made good money. I was like, whoa, like I didn't think I was going to make this much money my first pop-up show. So I started going more and more, and people started liking my artwork, and they started doing like, you do commissions, you have a website. And I was like, wow,
cool.
like, okay.
You're like, I do now, yeah.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, when they make the business for you, there is no better compliment,
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Exactly right. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And I love that for you. Now, I saw that you have been to a few like larger shows, like in museums and things like that. Like how do you prepare? How do you prepare for something like that? It's so big.
Right.
Yeah, it is a bit stressful, especially if I'm at full-time. I have a full-time job. Right after work, I try to incorporate every day of 4 hours into my artwork. And so it was at the beginning, it was a little hard because I was like, okay, like I don't know what people want, like what do they prefer to buy from me. And so I feel like whenever I started doing more pop-up shows, I saw more people what kind of things they were looking for, and like seasonal wise as well, like holidays and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
And so just what was your question? I'm sorry.
No worries. How do you prepare for your huge shows? I saw you're
answered it.
With the pop-up shows, I saved a lot of money for like some pottery wheels, and then kiln. And so I finally could afford a kiln at my home. It's a very small kiln.
Yes.
I call it.
No, that's a good investment.
Yeah, it's a good investment.
That's a great investment.
Yes. So I started learning how to invest into something that could help me make my work faster.
Right.
because I'm just one, and so I obviously materials are a little expensive, but if it's worth my timing, so I have to now. My brain is thinking about business wise. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, something I need to start investing in, something that makes my job faster. But I have to be very detailed in it as well. So um, I feel like that kind of investment just helped me make a lot of pieces faster as well. And then I
Right.
also, if I have a lot of bigger pieces, I have a studio here that is just like 10 minutes away, and then they're just amazing. You become a member, and then you
Oh.
can throw over there and you can use their account. So it's really nice to support all the other artists
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do. I like that idea. And I was just going to ask, so what do you have planned in the future for your business? Because it sounds like your business is actually growing. So
Oh
what did you
yeah.
have planned
Yeah.
for your expanding business?
My business is growing really fast now that I've been here almost a little bit a year, over a year now. Like
Hmm.
I've been having a lot of opportunities. I got published in the Kansas City
Yeah.
magazine. I I just like now I have little gift shops at the Kansas City
Hmm.
Museum. I'm applying to a lot of these amazing opportunities that are coming my way, and so I just feel that I might need to find a studio now
Yes,
because people
I
are
love
now
that.
Yes.
asking me pop-up shows if I teach classes or
Yes.
Hmm.
if I do any sort of things. And, those are the kind of questions that make me think about, okay, you know what? Maybe if people are trying not to see like my talent, they're trying to learn
Yeah.
how I
Hmm.
do that, like I'm willing to, show them.
Yep. I'll
Do
come.
some classes, right? So I say I definitely would be
Yes.
there. Teach a
So
class or two.
Yes, and so I've been, like looking into that now, and so there's just amazing friends I have around me that they're willing to support as well, and so I feel like that will be the next step where I will just start making my business even bigger and doing. I want to have a studio, and at the same time maybe do a pop-up show of my own as well. So I
Okay.
want to host a
Oh, where
pop-up.
you're hosting it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. So like an
yeah,
arts, yeah,
yeah.
an art show, that would be
Yeah,
beautiful.
that would be
And therefore
beautiful.
you support the art community that's in your city or in your state or even further than that, honestly, where other artists could come together.
Yes, yes,
And how
exactly.
do you feel? So I know you've had all the success, things have been booming, but as entrepreneurs, we all know we have those days where you're like, can I do this? Or, am I doing the right thing? When those times hit, what encourages you to keep going? What keeps your eye on the prize of like, I can have my own studio.
Yes. So, on February 8th, I gave my life to Jesus,
Yes,
and
amen.
so I feel like because of that, Jesus has just helped me grow a lot in my faith and walking with Him, and I feel like having a really good relationship with Him has been very good, and I just think that because of that, He just been blessing me. Like if I see blessings come my way, I
Amen.
know for sure that's Jesus. So I'm just
Right?
like,
And
Okay.
yeah,
yes.
right. In
And I'm like,
alignment.
okay.
Yes.
I was like, okay, He knows my heart and He has seen
Yes.
me, what I do. And it's just been amazing on how He's been leading me through life. And it's just like, there's just, I am, the oldest as well, the oldest sister. And so I have
Ah,
a lot in my plate where I have to show my brother, and I have other steps, brothers and sisters, to show them, as a Latina, that is not a citizen here yet, but
Hmm.
just like all of these are possible. And if you have your own
yeah.
community, um,
Yes.
that
And I
support
love that
you.
though. I love
Yes.
that you show your siblings your strength and the opportunities that could be presented to them as long as they persevere through it. So I
Yes.
love that though. And I really
Because
do
it is
hope
not
and
easy.
pray that they continue to keep going as well and they create business opportunities for themselves.
Yes. For sure. Yeah.
Are any of them interested in what you do? Like, do they like want to like be a
Oh
protege
my
or anything?
goodness. They've been amazing. So my cousins, they've been always supporting me. They even buy pottery from me. They're like,
I
even
love
if they
it.
have $4,
Yeah.
they said they're willing to buy a piece. And so sometimes at school they would write and be creative with their art, and then they will ask me questions. They're like, can you help me with this painting, or how do you do this?
Oh, I
Like
love it. Yeah.
they want to learn about art as well, and so that really makes me happy. So
Yeah. Because they probably didn't even know that that was something that you can really pursue, especially, when you're
Exactly.
first generation, going to school and things like that. Your parents, they're not teaching you, oh, go be free and have fun and what you love will make money. It's like work hard, go be a doctor, go be,
yeah,
something that, they know will make you money. So, I know that that's probably something they're looking at you like, wow, you can live your dreams, the American dream, like you really are it.
Yep.
yes,
So
That's
yeah, that's
exactly how
such an
they think.
inspiration. Yeah, that's such an inspiration to even me, because oh, we
yeah,
we were taught,
exactly.
yeah, like either go be like the thing that you can be probably like a nurse, you can go be a doctor, you can go be a lawyer. Like my mom was always like, you
Right.
have to go be a lawyer. I was like,
Yes,
so
I know, right?
that's great
Yeah,
I think
that you
that's a
really do
blessing
care
that your
about.
parents even encourage you to do it, though.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And my like I said, family, they're always supportive, and they see that they support someone in the family, and they're willing to support somebody else in the family. So
yeah.
that's really nice.
No, that's amazing because there a lot of times, when we have these sessions, a lot of the thought is, it's hardest
Support.
a lot of times with your family. Yeah, especially the support because, they've
Hmm.
known you the longest. They don't think you can do it, or maybe you failed at something else, they watched you do that. So to have that full support, and like I said, and your mom like really carrying everyone on her back and still being like, yes, you can go with your dream, that's amazing. And what a
Yeah.
blessing for your family. I
It
see God
is.
blessing you, girl. Keep going for
Oh
real.
yeah.
But
Thank
with your
you.
with your pottery, I know that you bought your kiln and everything, you're moving forward. How hard is it to like make the same thing? Because like, your piggy banks, I know you have to make at least like, 20 of them, for a show. So like how do you keep them uniform? Like what is that process
Yeah.
like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that
So,
process?
like I said, to be able to make my process faster, there's some techniques that I've learned from school. And so, to be able to repeat the same body image or the same anatomy figure of a pottery piece, I just try to use molding. Which is called molding. So
Okay.
there's many ways to be in to do molding. There's molding and plaster. There's molding and other mediums,
Mhm.
and so for and cheaper ways as well, like a little DIY, because with art there's DIY things as
Yeah.
well, especially like if
Yeah.
you to be on budget. So I use plaster, and I've learned so much through social media as well. I like Instagram and Pinterest. They've been used very helpful, where I just try to see other artists sharing their secret skills that they make their work look very professional, and then that
Right.
they
And
make
the
them look
same each time.
at the
Yeah.
same and stuff like that. So for sure, sometimes it's a muscle memory technique that you will have to just practice and practice
Yeah.
on how to make the same shape. So that's one way I do, like, just practice, or just to make a molding out of
Mhm.
it. And so it's just my studio right now. It's my apartment, it's my living room, and so it's been growing a lot to the
Yeah.
point that I'm just like, okay, because pottery, there's so many things that I have to use a lot of ventilation in, and I have to use a mask
Oh,
in.
right.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
sometimes I can't be using too much harsh chemicals in the house. So it's just like, it's a con and a pro about it being in the
Yeah,
house.
that's why you're like, I need
But
a studio now.
Yeah,
yes,
it's
Yeah,
time
it's
to just outgrow the apartment.
yes,
No, absolutely.
that's a way how I keep doing the same things.
right. No, I mean, that's a great problem to have, though,
Yeah,
because
I
now
think
yeah,
you're
so,
just
yeah.
like,
That's
yeah.
why I say
So
your
that's great.
yeah.
Well,
business is
hopefully you live
growing.
alone, yeah, because now I see like your whole living room is your studio, like
Yeah,
walking past it. But that's business. That's amazing though, because you
yeah.
really are growing at a rapid rate. And it's also something that is not too far out of your grasp. You know what I mean? Did you ever feel though like a little overwhelmed that everything was happening a little too fast?
Yes, I would
Mhm.
say yes. After my decision of getting saved, I feel like God just was like, all right, well, I'll just be prepared. I'm going to be blessing you really fast. And
Yeah.
so there's some things that you just have to, you know, just because sometimes for me, I don't like to ask for help. But then he was like, nope, you need to ask for help, because sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to do everything by myself. Like, I want to do the website by myself. I want to do
Yeah,
this and
that's
that. And
nice.
I'm like, I can't do
Yeah,
that because I'm like,
that's
I'm
I said. That's
pottery.
dream.
And so at church, there's a lot of young adults that are from the KCAI
Hmm.
school,
Oh,
and
oh,
I've made a lot
perfect.
of Christian friends there. And I've been reaching out, and I've been like, hey, like, are you willing, I said, okay, you can help me with this project. And, I'm willing to support as well. So if you can help me out, like they're willing to help me out. So that's really nice about my church, because we have young adult service,
Yeah.
and a lot of us are very artistic. And it's nice that God has led me into that church, and then I found other Christian friends
Yeah, you
there.
found your tribe. That's
Yep,
amazing. Not
Yeah.
only
you
are they
found your
growing in
tribe.
Christ, yeah, but artists, like, yeah, that I mean, God, like showing you, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, do
Yeah.
my work and it will be presented to you. That's amazing. What a
Yes,
testimony, seriously, because that is the hardest thing about,
Thank you.
actually
it
finding your faith and
is.
continuing, you know what I mean? To be in that. But when you have like iron sharpens iron, so when you have people around you,
Hmm.
like-minded people, like, it's so easy to grow. So yeah, I mean, I see great things for you. Like you said, you have all these artistic people already in your, circle. Like that's good. Great things,
Yeah.
great things.
Great. Thanks for sure.
And whenever you do you ever get special requests or requests that are outside of your state?
Um, the furthest was like Omaha,
Mhm.
because my artwork was a lot over there in like Nebraska area, so I was
Hmm.
trying to bring them a lot to the city back.
Yeah.
But that's the furthest that I've been, just Omaha for now,
Hmm.
because I'm in the process of this website that I'm now making, and so I feel like I've been taking breaks from pop-up shows because there's a lot, and I'm only one, and it's just
Yeah, when
like
you
a
actually have
lot
to
to
do the
do.
business part,
Uh,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, and a lot
Doing the
of my
business by
work
yourself.
went to the Kansas City Museum. So now I'm like, okay, time to take
Oh,
a
right.
break and try to think about new projects. And I'm like, okay, there's something now. I can't lose myself as well, because I need to think about my health in the relationship with God too. And so I
Hmm.
don't want to lose that. And so I'm just like, okay, we have to manage a like my routine. We have to take,
Yeah.
we have to take mental breaks and stuff like that, because it can be a lot. It can be a lot, especially for work as well, if I'm doing a full-time job.
Hmm.
And it's a lot with that as well.
Well, I most certainly applaud you because, like you stated, it is necessary to take breaks. You don't want to get overwhelmed. You don't want to get burnt out and things of that sort. So I definitely applaud you that you do have a balance between your walk with Christ and between work and between your gifts and things like that. So I definitely applaud you, and I'm so happy that you're on the right track for sure.
Thank
And
you.
and
You're
I want to point
welcome.
out you saying that, because as someone who walks in their faith as well, when you get blessed, a lot of times it is easy to be like, oh, you don't have that relationship anymore because you're not begging and praying every day for God to deliver you on something, right? And then, but, and when you get it, a lot of times you forget that you're supposed to praise in those moments as well. So that's really important. I'm really proud of you on this walk because, like you said, it's new for you. You gave your life to Christ in February, but knowing that is a major battle, and that's why you're continuing to be blessed. Because you realize that,
Yeah.
you know, you're blessed in both areas, you know, whether it's good or bad. So that's amazing.
Yes.
But I want to go back to, I know your work beautifully combines ceramic and your Latin culture, your Latino culture. Can you tell us about a specific piece that you feel best, like, fuses your heritage with your, like, artistic, you know, persona?
Yeah. I I try to incorporate a lot of like crafty, like a mixed medium Latino heritage in my artwork, and I like a lot of like colors, like very like vintagey organic colors. I feel like that's a way of like seeing my artwork, like the way that I incorporate colors. I incorporate, because as Mexicans, we like really bright, vivid colors. And so also we like different shape, and very functional pieces as well. And so I I kind of lost in my school. I was like known for like the monarca butterfly,
Yeah.
because like the monarca butterflies, they migrate from Canada to like from Mexico, Canada, and then the United States. And so I incorporate that a lot in my artwork, but I slowly, it kind of faded away. And so I just like I'm looking into my pottery pieces, where I'm like, how can I show more of me in my pottery pieces? Because I'm like, okay, I think that maybe it's just family. In my family, they're like, think about, the community, like think about what they would use, in their kitchen, or like how, like the colors, like how do the colors speak, like my personality. So it's like little things like that I will have to think about my Latino culture. But I would say I'm still seeking a little bit of like, what exactly, how do I put a statement like that? That's me, like that's me.
Okay, like if I see it, yeah, so you want to get to that point where if we see pottery, like, oh, that's Alba's, like, yeah, that's a Laredo ceramic piece.
Yeah.
No, I can see that. I understand that. So yeah, how do you get there? Like, is it just you just keep creating things until you find something, or do you feel like you found something where you're like, I'm almost there, I'm putting some finishing touches on it, or are you just like, it will come to me one day?
Yeah. I feel like I just do experiments, and I like to communicate a lot with my family as well. I still keep up with my monarca butterfly, with my cards, or a little bit of here and there. I feel like that's a very really good symbol of as an immigrant butterfly, But at the same time, I feel like it's just I'm very attracted to texture and a lot of like color wise. And so I don't know, I'm still an experiment, I would say. But yeah, it's just like, I just try to see with my family. I'm like, what do you think about this? So I feel like there's a lot of research as well, a lot of research about my Latino culture. I feel like as an artist, you got to do a lot of research as well. Like, what kind of, like, are you being influenced by? Like, what are you, what do you like about the Latino culture? Like, we try to find something that we're like, okay, so this makes sense.
So continuing to be, a student of your craft always.
That's what it sounds like.
Because at my pop-up shows, I still do a little bit of like painting, and then a little bit of it, like little earrings, because I do earrings and like pottery pieces as well. So I try to be crafty in that kind of sense. Like because I sometimes don't like to be in one medium. I like to be in other kind of aspect. I just try. I feel like I'm very crafty in a way where I'm like, okay, I like to incorporate like organic feeling as well. Like, oh, you can do this as a DIY, and you can make a business out of
See,
something like
see,
this.
that's a teacher. So
Yes,
where's the
Right,
classes?
exactly.
So
When
where
are you
are
going
these
to have these
classes, Alba?
classes so we can sign up?
yes, soon.
That's all I keep hearing. Okay, I just want to get to a class. No, that's amazing. Yeah, and keeping it with the organic and earth tones and things like that, and just staying true. I think that's a way that you can always make it your signature, especially when you get this, this internship when you go to Oaxaca, which we're praying for.
Yeah.
I know. I
We
think
know
that's
you
where
get it.
I'm sure it's where you're gonna like find it. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna be so ingrained and back
Hmm.
in your roots
Yes,
that
I'm excited.
hmm
Yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely praying for that. But even though you're going back to your roots, being here, how do you choose pieces to go into a museum? Like that is the biggest thing ever. Like
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
many
Yeah.
pieces do they
that's a
ask you
big deal.
for? Like how did you choose?
Yes. So I still have some of my very strong pieces. For example, this painting right here is one of my very strong pieces that I have. It tells like a really good story about my heritage and my family and everything. So um, I do have some pottery pieces. So like right now I'm looking at one right now. It's the Tree of Life. There's the Tree of Life. It's a very popular pottery piece
Mhm.
in Mexico, and it tells this Tree of Life tells all kinds of stories. It could be any kind of theme, like your family culture, or you as a person, or you as an artist. This tree can be any kind of thing you want it to be, and so I like, what, I've been thinking about making more trees because it's really cool that the tree that I made, and it was the most complicated
Yeah.
piece I've made.
So you were like,
Because
yeah, museum.
yeah, yes, because at some exhibitions they just they tell you to pick at least three strongest piece that you
Okay.
want to be shown in your in the exhibition, and so that's what I do, and then they get to choose whatever piece they like, and sometimes it's just one or just all three
Oh,
of them, so it really
okay.
depends. Yeah, so but for right now I'm taking the pieces that I already have
Mhm.
here, so that I do, but I do want to make more Tree of Life, because these Tree of Life potteries pieces are very complicated. So people can see how hard it is to make one,
Hmm.
how to
Mhm.
build one, and so it really is hard to make one. And so I feel like when people see that hard work in a piece and that very good details, they're like, okay, this is really nice. This is a really good piece. I think this piece is very worth and unique. I could buy it.
They more so have more appreciation for it, for
Mhm.
your hard work and the time and detail that you put in it.
Yes.
So you feel like that one you could say that you put like most of your effort into that, like that's the piece that, well, maybe that's where you'll find your inspiration, going back to the Tree of Life and recreating that.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Yes.
now we'll have, the monarch butterflies included. So, just throwing that out there.
I know,
In case.
honestly, Brittany, I feel the same way. I feel like that's where she'll have that aha
Mhm.
moment is when she's sculpting a tree of life.
Yeah, because
Yes,
it's
yes. That's
it's
one thing
representative of
about,
that. Yeah.
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 And that's another thing about like going to pop-up shows. Like it's good, but sometimes bad, because it's like you do for the people that you think that they would buy your piece. Like
Right.
they like to see something in a pottery piece, and you're like, okay, that sells, so I'm gonna keep doing more. But does that
Oh yeah.
speak me? Does that talk about me? Like I'm losing myself in making other people buy a piece that is not even talking about me. Like they see, like they're like just mentioning an idea. They're like, oh, like if you did incorporate strawberries and this and that, it's like, oh, okay, like I can do
So the
that,
torment
but
of being trendy
Right.
and being an artist.
yes, yeah. So I feel like I've been a little bit in that kind of aspect where I'm like, okay, people like this, they would buy it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, but does it speak me? Like, does, do they
Yeah.
see me in my artwork? So,
Yeah,
And how
that's probably the hardest
exactly do
thing.
you go about it? Yeah, definitely. But how do you go about showing who you are in your pieces?
yeah. So, I think that I really like exhibitions. So,
Yeah.
and an opportunity of a having a gift shop
Hmm.
as well. And so I feel like pop-up shows is one thing. A gift shop is like talking about the artist. Like, this is their artwork. Like, this is about them. Like, this is what they sell.
Hmm.
And then exhibitions are like, you see the biggest, complicated, um, a piece that you see a worth in it. So
Right.
sometimes it's like three different things that I'm like, okay, what do I want to apply for? What do I want to go for? And so it's just, I feel like I'm a little stuck with all three. So yeah, I'm still
So yeah,
going with it.
that's where you're like really deciding like, okay, what will my business be? Because yeah, you are gonna have to make those things where yeah, you made it
Decision.
100 times and it's trendy and it's cool. Then you get to really be,
Yeah.
full artist and have these moments where it's just about you, in your show. So when you, have your own um, art show and things like that. So yeah, I guess yeah, you're always going to be busy because you always have to go
Yeah.
between those three aspects of your business, which yeah, it's harder for an artist. We don't have to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I get to be one thing, and you know what you're coming to me for. But yeah, you kind of have
Yes.
to be open and, stay true to yourself and make sure that you're still doing the art that you love and not just making, a whole bunch of just cookie cutter,
Yeah, not
pottery
Yeah.
pieces. So
making it for others, but still making it for yourself and honoring your heritage. And I was going
well, I
to
guess that's
ask,
what you
do
were saying.
you,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask, do you ever draw inspiration from other artists or other ceramists?
Yeah. This is a really good question. Yes, I do actually. I try to look up like different techniques. How can I make this faster? Or sometimes look up another Latino artist, not even in the kind of aspect of pottery, but also
Mhm.
maybe another medium like printmaking.
Hmm.
And how can I incorporate that kind of printmaking into my pottery? And so it's just I really like to go in the Latino community as well, just to see, um, because I've never been to Mexico. Ever since I immigrated here, I've never been back, and so I feel like that I'm losing that kind of culture wise. So that's
Yeah.
why I try to be in my Latino culture, just to discover more about it, because I do want to discover more about it. And I feel like just by learning more about it, it's just like learning more about other artists, how they show their story, how they incorporate their family in their artwork as well.
Did your sound go up?
Yeah, it did.
Your sound went out, Alba.
Oh, can you hear
Can you
me
hear me?
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
I was like,
sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. Like I said, like looking at like different pottery techniques, and then looking at the Latino artists and how they incorporate the story in their artwork.
I love that. I guess my next question would be when you do go home, because I'm 100% certain you will go home. When you go home, what's the first thing you want to do?
Ooh, I would say food.
Right.
The food,
Some good food.
take a walk,
Some authentic. Yeah,
experience my
right.
Yes.
Seriously. Yeah.
yes.
You're like, I will do some pottery in about 2 days. I'm just gonna eat. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
No, and that's really the richest way to really get back into your culture. You know what I'm saying? Like for us, being African American and creating our culture in this country, of not getting the choice of bringing our languages here and in our families and things like that. It is really important when we do come together. It is about the food. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like
is.
our holiday times and all of that stuff. It really is. That's why in our culture, we call it soul food because that was the one thing that we had to bring us together. So when you do, just, bring me something back. That's all.
Hey,
please.
Yeah, I'm authentic. Just, something
a little
authentic from
bit of
Oaxaca. Yes, I've known like so many of my friends who've gone there. I'm like, come on, you didn't bring me anything back. Like they make everything from scratch. Like,
Oh,
you
man,
know,
that sounds
we used to
good.
have the figurines when we used to go down to Mexico, and the figurines that were made of like farmers and stuff like that, and all the time, and we would sit there and watch these ladies make them, just sitting there on a street corner, just completely by hand, making these beautiful pieces. So it's
yeah.
definitely in your culture and ingrained. So I know you're gonna go far. I can't wait for you to go and see all the
Thank
pictures.
you.
It's gonna
Thank
be
you.
amazing for you.
Yeah.
Now, before we run out of time, Elba, I want to make sure that we give our listeners all of your information, and we get to pin your site and everything here. Can you just tell everyone how to reach you? How can we purchase? Get on a waiting list for these classes?
Yes.
All of it.
So
Yeah.
serious about these classes, Miss Alba. Like the moment you do get your website together and start putting up those dates, me and Brittany definitely want to be there, want to support, and definitely want to learn.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes. Um, well, I have TikTok, Instagram, and I think there's only two I have. They are artista underscore Alba Laredo. You can follow me on that on TikTok and Instagram. And I do have a little link up there that kind of says I think there's an email that you can newsletter that you can
Okay.
subscribe to,
Okay.
and then I will let you know about
All your
whenever my
upcoming.
website is already ready and upcoming. Yes, and then I also want to do a Google form, about a class that I'm about to teach
Okay.
curriculum
There
and
we
stuff
go.
like
All
that.
right.
And then also a little bit of like if I do commissions as well for local here in Kansas City. So for right now, but yeah, big things are coming up. So that's why I'm taking a little bit of break to get everything together for people
Of
to see
course.
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Breaks are
For sure.
necessary.
And take that time.
Yeah.
Yes, we're both
Yeah.
9 to 5 people as well, building all
Oof.
of these businesses. So we definitely understand some days you just have to shut everything down. So I'm glad that you get that time and you have the support to really like build everything back up to come out even stronger. So many blessings to you.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, though, I do want to ask, because you are first generation, you graduated college, you're pursuing your dreams, what would you tell the young, you know, girls or boys that are coming in and, immigrants, don't know English, coming to this country? Like, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I'll be like, no se venzan, don't give up. Ustedes pueden, you guys can do it. I for generation everything. I just feel like I've took a step forward in risking some things and learn from it too. But one thing that I learned is like it's never like don't be shy to ask questions. I feel like by asking
Yeah,
questions, it really does help you. Other people get to know who you are and that they're able to support you. And I feel like when I talk to other people in my our community, in my Latino
Mhm.
community, and tell them about what I think and what I'm doing, they're very interested. And sometimes, most of the time, they would support and they will say, "Hey," or they have resources too, so they're
right.
willing to help you.
Mhm.
So I got into pop-up shows because of my work. I asked a question to one of my coworkers, and she was an artist, and she told me about a pop-up show. And so, because if it wasn't for her, I would have not been,
Right.
in the Kansas City magazine. So it's pretty cool. So I feel like that's something that I would suggest to ask questions. Um,
And don't give up on yourself, because, yes,
No.
your
yeah,
dreams are real
yeah.
and you can manifest them into reality. So, again, I want to thank everybody for joining us for episode 16. We were joined by our wonderful special
Thank you,
guest, Miss Alba
everyone.
Laredo. And thank you. I'm Brittany. We're going to be signing off for tonight. I was joined by my wonderful
Yes.
co host, B. I hope you guys enjoy, and many blessings. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
Good
so
night.
much, Miss
Thank you, Miss
Alba. You've been
Alba. You have a
great.
wonderful night.
Thank you,
think
everyone.